Hello and welcome to Knife Chats with Tobias. And as you can tell, there's a card here from Paddy's Potato Peelers. Now, why is Paddy's Potato Peelers coming all the way across the sheugh to visit Knife Chats with Tobias? Well, he's not, but what he did do is he sent me this wonderful little pruner, and I thought I'd talk about it and give a shout out to him and thank him very much for this wonderful pruning knife. Just a terrific knife, and something that I am going to enjoy using, which is, I'm pretty sure, why he sent it my way. Now, I have a couple hawkbills out here, but I do not necessarily collect hawkbills. Why I have hawkbills is because I actually do use them. I use them both in gardening, but mostly I use them for cutting up linoleum and cutting carpeting and stuff, and I find these knives terrific for it, the way they score and everything. And this knife I think is going to be ideal for the type of work that I use. Once I've used it for a while, I'll talk about it a little more. But for now, let me go over some of the specs on this knife and compare it to the ones I have pulled up here. And that will also help you see why I think this is going to be just a perfect knife for me. So I'm going to give you the specs the Paddy way. We'll just set it down here. 1, 2, 3, 4 inches long. We open up that blade. Let's move these things out of the way. We got a blade that is 1, 2, 3, about 3 inches long. So overall length 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inches. So there we have it. And we have this hawkbill blade going on here. Notice there's no nail nick in this blade, which is interesting because all of my other ones, which have a much more pronounced blade, all have a nail nick. Why, I don't know. You do not need a nail nick to open those blades. What's interesting though is this blade is not nearly as wide as these other blades are, but this blade is just as functional, and that's why I really like it. Let's pull out this Colt. Notice, let's close this one up. Look at how much more pronounced that Colt blade is. So much real estate in the pocket versus this one. You open this blade up, and this blade, notice I am not using the nail nick. See how much larger that blade is, but the cutting edge is almost identical. This one is a little straighter, which is not going to be a problem either. So really all you have here is a lot more blade, but not a lot more functionality to it. Yeah, this has a good half stop. So do the other ones I have here. I'll show those too. This is my Klein. I use this one a lot, as you can probably tell. The blade is definitely used, and the shape is closer to this than what it originally had. It had a little bit more of a hock there, because when you sharpen it, it tends to straighten out a bit, because they're hard to sharpen. This is not going to be nearly as hard to sharpen as this one is. It's just a fact of life. If you're not really good at sharpening hawkbill blades, the straighter it is, the better it is. The little hook at the end is the crucial part, and that's the important part for cutting what I cut most of the time. Now this one has a liner lock, and it also has a half lock, and so it's a little tricky to close as far as I'm concerned, but it's a really good knife. This one is by Klein Tools. It's an older one, and this one is by Hibbard, Spencer, Bartlett, or whatever, the Hibbard brand, also with the half lock. And you can see how this one has been used quite a bit over time. I got it almost like that, and you see the blade is worn quite a bit and is pretty much straight now because of how much it has been sharpened and everything. But I use it still because it's almost like a half hawk now. That's what it turned into because of how straight it is. Very stiff. Good knife. But what about Paddy's? Well, the steel in it, I believe they said it is 75 CR, which really comes down to the equivalent of a 1075 carbon steel with chromium added to it. So it's a relatively tough steel. but it's going to get dull a little quicker than like a 1095 carbon or like a 440C or something. So it's going to require sharpening more. But because it's tough, it's going to be able to cut through rope and everything else really easy, and it's going to handle you know, some of the harder cutting chores. And you can also do a little bit of tapping on the back end of this blade without really doing much damage to it. Yeah, you might dull it a little quicker, but it will be able to sharpen up real quick too. Good action on it, a little tight, which is fine. The shape of it is really good. I like the contour here. I can really get in there, but mostly I'm going to be able to press down on there, or more importantly, do this and just pull through carpeting and pull through linoleum and score drywall and such with it, which is really what I end up using these for a lot. The other thing I use them for is for stripping bark and stuff off of branches and such, and this is really going to work well for that. I know simply because I've used so many of the hawkbills, I know how well these types of blades will work. The fact that it's like a 1075 chromium steel should also be helpful for me, because it'll be easy to sharpen up real quick. The fact that there's a little chromium in there means that it will be a little more stainless than a regular 1075 carbon steel. So I'm looking forward to using this knife. I think it's going to be a great user and a great addition to the my other hawkbills that I use for actual work. Like I said, I do have a few hawkbills that are just in the collection, but I find this really big pronounced blade, you know, just overkill. This is the way a pruner should be, and this is the type of pruner I'm more used to using. So I'm really happy I've got it, and I really want to give a big shout out to Paddy for sending it to me. I am going to put it to good use, and I'm really happy he sent it this way. Overjoyed even. So thanks a lot, Paddy, and keep up the good work over on your channel. I will keep you posted on how well I use this knife and what I've done with it. Thank you.